Hello, you are listening to Talking Utter Slot, the antidote to other slot car podcasts. I'm Scott.
I'm Nick.
Hello, everybody. Hope you're keeping warm. That's a very parochial statement because we're here in the UK. We're being plunged. The media tell us into some devilish storm where temperatures are going as low as actual zero. There's frost on the cars, chaos on the streets, and people staying in, hoovering up black market bargains on slot cars. How are you?
Yes, absolutely. I have hoovered up my bargain. I've bought my second slot car of 2024.
That's a very special. Remind us what the first one was, and then tell us what the second one is.
The first one was actually that's not true because I did buy those ones at the start of the year from the Dorset Hall. But
they don't count. I don't count. Yeah, they don't count. They were so cheap. They don't count.
So I bought a very used Ninko Mini Cooper to make a model of my road car, and now I've just got the Scalextric car, as in Karr, which is the evil twin of Kit. So it's basically an 82-ish Pontiac Firebird with a glowing light on the front. And I'm dispensing with the glowing light and painting it black and gold to be Tubbs's car from the first ever episode of Miami Vice.
Miami Vice, yes, of course. Yeah. All right. Well, that's good. Well, let's look forward to pictures of that progress, if that's the right way of putting it.
Yes, I mean they did change the front and rear bumpers on them for the for Kit and car, but blind man would like to see it on a black slot car on a track.
Yeah, flying past. Yeah,
exactly.
Flying past, taking all that detail. So in terms of things that have been happening, I had a quick sort of scour through. Obviously, I mentioned Black Friday sales, which may or may not be a dreadful import of Americanism to commercialise yet more time. But I was interested to see that Hornby in general and Scalextric in particular were advertising a Black Friday sale that seemed to last a month. Not that they've got a lot of stock to move, but they've got a lot of stock to move. But it was quite interesting. Some stuff which was actually new, announced only 12 months ago, or not even 12 months ago, was in there down at 32 quid, which seemed a reasonable bargain. Of course, that seemed to translate into what people were selling online. So when I went to Orpington on Sunday, I thought, bargains, there's going to be bargains, all this stock. And it was quite interesting how some stallholders still had things priced at 45 and up when you could go onto the Hornby site and get it for 32. There was a couple who had obviously done their homework and reduced the prices. However, I went looking for an SCX Yaris, and there were none there. I didn't really expect there to be, but I was hoping somebody had imported a little bundle and was looking to make a killing on them. But there was none. So anyway, that's me.
I'm overly sad about that, actually.
Why?
Because we had the final round of Slot Rally GB at Farnham, or even Farnborough. So the door. I've got somebody at the door.
We'll have a little interlude while Nick answers the door. It could be. Hopefully, it's not the police coming to arrest him for a naughty tweet. And again, for those of you not in the UK, that might not make sense. Not that I think he's made any naughty tweets.
It was Anne Postman.
Anne Postman, a colleague.
It was indeed. And my wife has clearly discovered that there is a Black Friday sale on somewhere.
Oh, well, never mind. It keeps...
there we are.
Sorry, before you were rudely interrupted by one of your colleagues, what were we saying? I was waxing on about bargains.
I had 116 parcels yesterday. 116 on my little round. Black Friday is well and truly here.
It's kicking in. We should just further explain to any new listeners that you're working at the minute as a postman, and therefore, this wasn't that you had a lot of deliveries to your door. It was that you were having to carry them round and make other people happy. Hopefully,
indeed.
I mean that's the good thing about it. You make people go, "Oh, they're pleased to see you," or the dogs may not be. So anyway, we'll have a quick reset from the door interruption. What have you been? Apart from buying,
we had the final round of
that was it. Yes,
Slot Rally GB at Farnborough Park, and I wasn't actually. I was there to help set up, but I had to work because it's Black Friday, and Sunday post deliveries to clear parcels are a thing. So I wasn't able to compete, but I did give them all a run, and I used my SCX Hyundai WRC to test some of the stages, and it was no fun. It just wasn't any fun.
Why? Why not?
Just didn't it? It didn't like proper rally stages. It was hopping around, and it didn't. Yeah. So the good news is, AvantSlot is making the Yaris the Yaris Rally 1.
Mm-hmm.
It's also making the Yaris Rally 2.
Yeah.
And it's making the Skoda Fabia Rally 2. So there will be cars that can handle proper rally stages, which look like modern rally cars, which is good.
It's good. I when I saw this, because you are a bit of a, you're not really a closet Skoda fan. You're quite open about it. So,
Yes.
so when I saw that AvantSlot were doing that, I thought, oh, Nick will be happy. How many liveries will you want to make of that car? Just to
Quite
the
a
nearest.
few.
To the
Actually,
nearest.
the thing is, Rally 2 is really where it's all at, in the same way that in NASCAR, the Xfinity Series, the step lower down with the older style cars, is where it's at. And the Cup Series, yeah, it's fine, it's big and it's great and whatever. But if you want sort of entertaining sport, it's the next layer down. And you've got more manufacturers doing Rally 2. You've got more drivers who arguably should be at the top level. But there are no seats available, so they're just stuck in this sort of cycle of competing in Rally 2. And it's where the bright young things are going, and the ones who should really be driving full World Rally Championship seasons. And so it's a really exciting series. So why wouldn't you make a lot of cars? Because there are so many different bodies, and you can probably stick them all on the same chassis.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I was thinking, and we're talking about rallying again. We will move on from rallying. Don't worry. But in a sort of similar vein, I took my Scaleauto Mitsubishi Charisma Stroke Lancer, which came out this year, which I love. I've just got the standard home series or whatever they call it, so it's not got the Looney Tunes motor in it, and it's great. And I thought, I wonder what other World Rally cars they're going to bring out to run with this. Hopefully not another Subaru, because there's a lot of Subarus. And I suppose a Focus could be, but I'm clinging, hoping, fingers crossed, that it'll be a Corolla, so we can finally have a decent slot Corolla. That would be really good. And there's endless liveries for those. But that was kind of my hope. But yeah, the Skoda, I think the Skoda, doing that Skoda R2 car is a very good idea, and there's going to be loads and loads of bodies that they can do for it. Talking of rallying, one of the things I recently bought a whole load of temporary tables. I don't know how little folding kind of picnic table, pasting table things from a well-known German supermarket who had them in their middle aisle, and I went slightly mad because I thought, oh, these are quite cheap. And there's 3 in a box, so if I buy 4 boxes, I'll have a lot, and I can make a big circle. They're about 1 meter by 0.6, so we start multiplying them up. Anyway, put the model railway on it for a while, which was a reminder of why I don't do model railways. So packed all that away, and then I've got a Ninko set. So I bought an old Ninko rally set about a year ago to get the cars, which were the VW Golfs. And it came with quite a lot of track and a bridge and all that sort of thing. I thought, this will be great, I'll put this up. And it sort of fills the table, but the track is like banana shaped. Every join is kind of like this. So the frustration of trying to get a modern car to go round, the SCX Hyundai being one that I did try running on it just bottoms out all the time, or the guide gets kicked out of the thing. So it was a little bit frustrating, but interestingly, when I put the old Ninko cars on it, they ran round just fine. So the high ride height, sprung guide, absolutely happy to go bouncing over all of this stuff. And I thought, old stuff can be fun, but fundamentally I don't know what I'm going to do with the track now. So if anybody wants some slightly bumpy Ninko track, please get in touch. You can have it for free, because I don't know what else I can do with it, having done the experiment. But that was actually, I had this great, I thought, I could run all my rally cars on a different surface. It'll be like a whole rally stage mode. Too painful because they just keep deslotting. So.
Yeah, it's the stuff that you need to go around Ninko is a bit different to what you need for other stuff, really, isn't it? I mean, we had our regular club night last night, first one I've been to for months, and we're running the open LMP cars. So the pre 2000 and whenever they 2010 was it? They put roofs on.
Don't reopen that debate. Don't reopen that.
Exactly. Anyway, I've had waiting in the wings for an opportunity an AvantSlot BMW V12. AvantSlot, which is a defunct, obviously, manufacturer that made one car, which was the BMW V12, with Scaleauto parts. Scaleauto, if you prefer.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I think it's added glamour if you call it Scaleauto. Sounds fast. Sounds faster.
It does. But it sounds like Gabriele Tarquini is saying it.
It's like quadrifigliore. You think that sounds so much better than four-leaf clover.
Well, it's got a sprung guide. It's got which I thought, that'd be good for our track. And it's got all Scaleauto parts, and it's still not as quick as the AvantSlot Kramer, which is still far and away the best car to have. So there we go. Nice experiment, but not a contender for 16 points in the class.
No, I recently had a test of whether I like toy cars or fast cars because I had the chance to buy an AvantSlot Mirage, which as you said, the Kramer, those were the king of the hill in terms of go faster LMP cars, weren't they? But it was the same livery as the actually now released Scalextric one. And it was cheap. It was going to cost less. I think it was something 40 quid or something. So it was going to be cheaper than the Scalextric one. And I thought, yeah, but it's not quite the right shape, and it's not quite. And I didn't buy it. So I think I've definitely come down on the side of I like things that look pretty rather than go fast.
Fair enough. I mean, we actually back in the day had a deal as a club to buy the box sets of 2 Golf cars because they just didn't sell that well. So we bought them at a low cost in pairs, split them, and I think it was only me and Graham actually that ended up with a set that we split and ran. And by gentleman's agreement, we didn't use them anymore. We used them once.
Too fast.
We just lapped everybody by lap 3 because it's got a stupidly magnetic motor and no weight in the body, and it was just like running a magnet car compared to all the others. So we were like, do you know what? This is no fun.
Yeah, no, fun is what it's all about. Speaking of fun, I think our friend Rafa at Fly is having fun, and and I don't just mean yet more reliveries of the Renault 5 Turbo, which I am resisting. My therapist is very proud. I've not bought the latest 2, but I don't mean that. I mean the fact that he has released, so Fly have released, a car which comes looking as if it's very rusty, and it doesn't even have tyres. So this is a brand new slot car, which even if you took it out the box, you couldn't run anyway. So I think this is a new high or low watermark, depending on how you look at it, of taking the piss on collectors. So a slot car that is delivered in a way that you cannot run it.
Yeah. So, yeah. No, speaking of wheels, though. Speaking of wheels, as you just did,
segued nicely, but really, no, I don't think I have to dwell. Anybody who, if you're going to buy a fake rusty plastic Porsche with no tires, write in and tell me why, because I really want to know. Anyway,
yeah, I mean wheels. So Scalextric surprise release announced yesterday.
Yes,
of a Z28 Camaro, which raced in German saloon cars. They say it's DTM, but DTM didn't really happen in 1982. It was just a German saloon car. But it's got BBS turbofan wheels on it. And I'm pretty certain Scalextric wouldn't tool up a BBS turbofan wheel without there being more to come.
Okay, I see where you're going with this. So what would you hope that they're going to stick these on?
It's your archetypal 80s wheel, is it not? The turbofan. So it
Yeah.
fits Group A cars. BMW 635s ran with it.
You're ever hopeful on that one, aren't you?
I think we all are. It was a Group C wheel.
It was, yeah.
And some Group B cars. I seem to remember Stig Blomqvist running those wheels on a Quattro.
They did. I mean, there was. You're right. They were on lots of things where it was a kind of So, and I remember.
Yes,
Yeah.
I mean, it's a good thing to have. It's nice to have in your toolbox as a manufacturer. Oh, I've got some turbofans there. But surely there's something coming in 2025 that's going to be 80s-ish on turbofans.
I do share a little bit your 635 hope, although I think, yeah, but I suspect it's more likely to go on one of the 911 RSs that was released a year or two ago, because I think those raced at Le Mans a lot, didn't they, as Group B cars and things, and they had those on. So that's that. I'm playing that down, and that's not a good thing. Reminds me though, the recent Hobby Classic did a limited run of the SCX Group A Lancia Delta Marlboro livery, which was lovely enough of its own, but they added cooling discs to the front wheels, so they were Speedline, I think. And they should sell those parts as aftermarket, because I would love to stick them on all my Celicas and all that sort of stuff. Just two little plastic discs to stick in. So yeah, maybe Scalextric have not made a new wheel. Maybe it's just an insert for the existing wheel.
True. Yeah. But even so, it's a tooling, and toolings cost money, and so why would you do it? That's my question.
Okay.
The other thing, of course, that's new is the NSR Lola T280/290. So the little
fallen asleep already.
Yeah, exactly. So basically, NSR has made the Porsche 908 Spider a car which beats all of its other classics. So it needed a car to compete with that. So it's made a chassis with lots of holes in, gone for a car for which there's probably no license fee required at all, and gone mental in terms of performance.
Which is fine, but completely. I saw it and I thought, yeah. I mean, I've got. Is it the same car or a very similar car to the old Slaughter?
Slaughter is the same car.
The same Slaughter. I have got a couple of those Slaughters, including one that looks like a wedge of cheese, which was a livery. And I didn't realise you wouldn't approve, because of course it's a death car. It was
a death car.
A death car. I didn't know that at the time, and yeah, I know your feeling is that this is a bad thing to do, but it looks funky. It looks like a block of cheese. What's not to like?
I had one in a Barclays Bank livery.
Nice, yeah, nice. I think those Slaughter cars they were quite quick, but they were fairly basic and they were fairly robust. So I quite like those. I don't know what happened to somebody needs to buy the Slaughter molds and reissue the Lola alphabet after them. But those little Lolas. That's my tip for business success. Yes.
90s GTs.
Oh yes, do you mean RevoSlot issuing more old fly molds?
Yes.
Is it Marcoses this time? I think, or more Marcoses, or more.
Yes.
And Lister Storms.
It is actually a remold, or has somebody gone and sculpted afresh the slightly bizarre Marcos from the mid-90s?
If you're kind, you would say they are models of a real thing, and therefore it's no surprise that they look the same. That's right. If you were being kind.
Can you not put one body on another chassis?
I haven't but the only Revo slots I've got are the Supra and the GT, the Toyotas, basically. Right. And nice as they are, I mean, I think the Supra is an awesome model. The body on it is fantastic. That's why I don't understand why they've got some clunkers. But that's just my view. They make other people very happy, and that's cool.
Ford Escort.
Yes. But I think, as you pointed out, there's this trend for the Alpha. Is it the Alphas are dragging them? They look as when a puppy's got worms and it drags its bum along the ground.
Yes.
That's what the Alpha. They made it so low presumably for handling. That it looks so. Yeah, I'm not into that one. I must confess. The other thing which has got for you maybe, well, yeah, the Carrera NASCARs seem to have gone down very well with our friends across the pond, unsurprisingly. I'm finding myself quite easily to. I mean, if they do the Le Mans one, the one that Jenson Button and stuff did a few years ago, I might be tempted to get that one. But
I mean, this is what when I first got back into slot cars 20 and a bit years ago. It was when I got into NASCAR properly, and so there were the inline Scalextric, Pontiac, and Ford Taurus at that time. And then I discovered decals for liveries, and I furiously began repainting millions of cars to make a whole sort of field of relatively contemporary NASCARs. And that's sort of that was my return to the hobby, was doing that. So I'm very excited about them. I don't relish the idea of trying to strip Carrera bodies because they seem to be made with tungsten or something, which makes it really have to soak them for days. The liveries they've got are all the Hendrick Chevrolets. They're not making any other bodies, just the Chevrolet Camaro. So it's a start. It's a good start. Yeah, I'd like to paint. Ross Chastain is a driver that I like. Kyle Busch is becoming a driver that I like, partly because he wins less now, but it's quite funny. And he's driving for Richard Childress, which is a top team. And yeah, there's cars that I'd like to model from that body, but the whole process of stripping it would be a nightmare. But it's good that NASCARs are back. It's been a very exciting year for the championship, so hopefully it's good news for Carrera.
Exactly. I think Carrera are doing,
and the 3D chassis are already out there.
Yeah. See, that's all the tinkering. Once you start, it's a slippy slope. Once you
I know,
start.
But you know me. You know how I feel about the way Carrera cars.
Yes, but it's this. I bought this car. I'm going to throw away 90% of it, and I'm going to keep the body. And great, that's good. I mean, whatever makes you happy is, I suppose, is the answer. But I'm definitely, and I think I'm a great believer in there's a silent majority out there who just like to take toy cars out of boxes and have fun with them.
And I'm sure that the Hendrick liveries, starting with Kyle Larson's, but I think they're rolling out the number 24 and the number 48 as well.
Mm-hmm.
So that's three of the most popular cars in the series from one of the biggest teams in their 40th anniversary.
So that may be why they're not doing it. Okay. So before we run out of time, and I know I hate talking about Christmas before it's December, but the Christmas slot car market is coming up in 2 weeks' time as we record this. I think at the beginning of December. Imagining we're going, so we arrive at Gaydon full of anticipation and excitement, and there's a surprise car that nobody knew was coming. And it's not an obscure DTM Camaro. What would you hope from any manufacturer? What would you hope to be the surprise and delight? My God, I've made him speechless. I don't think I've ever done that before.
I'll tell you what I'd like to see. More Caliber Sierras, because they've all gone.
Are you still looking for a Caliber Sierra?
Yeah.
Okay. Does it have to?
I tell you what. No, because just for long-standing listeners, I will wind them all up at once because I will say I'd really like Gwyndaf Evans's Pink Sierra.
The Pink
Mr.
Sierra.
Tompkinson Pink Sierra.
Pink Sierra.
The wheels they now have, the car they have, and I've got Gwyndaf Evans into another podcast. So
that's those playing the bingo will be very happy about that. So that's quite good. Having asked you the question, I haven't really got an answer. I suppose what I'd like to see is somebody like Slot It ideally slot it, maybe sideways, announcing that they're doing all the LMP, the modern Le Mans hypercars. I know Scaleauto are doing them, but they're a little bit stretched and whatever. And I know Scalextric are doing the Cadillac. Thank you very much. And I'll buy one or two, but it's still. But I'd love to see slot it. Given the success they've had with the Group C's, it seems a natural one. So that would be my.
Actually piped up on Slot Forum the other day for the first time in forever, responding to Pedro, formerly of this parish. I would say this is his seat, but it's in my house, so it's not. And it's he and I are both, Pedro that is, and I are both convinced that an Audi V8 DTM car is coming.
Wow! Yeah, well, the big thing.
Yeah, the limo, and he did nothing to dispel these thoughts. In the same way that for the Shakespearean fans amongst you, Beatrice and Benedict, when they're sort of at pains to sort of there's a double meaning in that. So yes, you did not you can take no more pains to do this than it pays. That means she loves me. So basically, it's like, well, he didn't say it's not an Audi V8 limousine that's coming. So clearly, it's an Audi V8 limousine.
It's an Audi V8 limousine coming. Okay, that would be a surprise. It would be a surprise, but anything's possible. So that's good. Well, that's what we're saying. Okay then. The clock is ticking. We're going to run out of time. Probably, everybody's falling asleep anyway. So we probably should wrap it up. Anything we haven't covered that we should have covered?
Don't think so.
Don't think so. Okay. Gold Aston Martins. Do you want one? No. No. Did you have one? Did you have a corgi one as a kid?
I did, inherited from my oldest brother, I think.
So that's the bit that's kind of. I'm thinking. I went, Gold Aston Martin. I had one of those. I went, no, I didn't. I had a corgi car, which was one of those. So I've managed to resist. But I think it's a great. I'm sure they'll sell them by the bucket load. Anyway, with that, we shall wish everyone well. We may or may not be back before Christmas, so we'll not.
I think we should. We should do that.
We should do that. Okay.
Was that a festive episode?
Car of the year, all that sort of thing.
Yeah, why not?
Podcast
2026 car of the year. We'll predict it.
That's dead easy. All right then.
The Skoda Felicia kit car.
Again. They're talking us a slot car of the year is again, right? Okay. Happy slotting, everybody. See you all soon. Bye.